Live from the Las Vegas Strip studio in Las Vegas, Nevada, it's Bettor Center Live. I'm your host, Brad Stein. You can watch daily 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time during the week, 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on the weekends, hosted by Louis Diamond. You can watch us on bettorcenter.com, on YouTube at Louis Diamond, also Facebook. Today we got three great sports handicappers here to give us a little advice, make some money for us, and guide us in all of our sports betting apparatus. All right, guys, let's welcome those three men right now, all the way from Las Vegas, Nevada, Mr. Louis Diamond, Mr. Chip Chirimbes, and Ross Benjamin.
How are you, Brad?
I'll tell you
what happened to our king.
Yeah,
he's been king, my Lord.
Our king's been dethroned.
Yeah, the wife took it away. She said you get 2 days of that. That was Halloween and post-Halloween. That's it. She took it away.
Queen's rule.
They do. Unfortunately, they do. Guys, I'll tell you what I learned. Never bet against this bunch when everyone is in agreement that the Minnesota Vikings +6 were going to cover against the Green Bay Packers. I can't believe it. Everyone had it, and I was sitting there, and one of you, I think it was Louis Diamond, said this is a sucker's bet for someone to actually take the Packers. And I kept thinking to myself, well, Minnesota, they traded away their best pass rusher. I know Aaron Jones isn't playing, but Green Bay still has Aaron Rodgers and a prolific pass offense, and they can still run the ball, and they should be able to cover. It's at Lambeau. They should be able to win easily, but it was a sucker's bet. That's why I'm not a professional sports handicapper. You are, and that's why I don't make bets. So go ahead, guys. Gloat. You guys are awesome. Take it away, Louis Diamond. What did you learn?
Oh, what did I learn? Well, I learned that sucker bet a long time ago. I mean, that's something that you see constantly. I think the two other horsemen here, or wise men here, will agree. We've seen this movie before. It's not so much who's playing what, where, when, or how, or anything like that. It's a movie that's been played over and over again, and we happen to catch it. And I would say that one thing I really learned yesterday is when we all agree, look out, guys, look out, because we did that again on Saturday. So I think we got a nice gel going here with the Bettor Center crew. Chip, Ross, Tony that's not here, and even Bovey that's not here, Della's not here. Guys, you guys are doing a great job. I love what we're doing, and congratulations to all of us with that one yesterday.
Yeah, it's certainly money when everyone says one team is going to cover. It's pretty good to take that advice. All right, does anyone want to add or subtract from what Louis Diamond just said?
Yeah, if I can. Chipper, if you don't mind, if you got something to say, follow it up with me, buddy. Feel free. Going hand in hand with that, I wasn't on over the weekend, but I congratulate all you guys for that Minnesota play. Sometimes you got to make that uncomfortable play, and you're taking a 1-5 team on the road against a team that's 5-1. And a lot of people, the novice bettors out there, the people who have short memories, they probably were scratching their head when you guys made that play. And, when I was on last, it was Friday, I made a similar type of play, and I think, Chipper, you were on board with me on this one. I took the Cincinnati Bengals. I thought the Tennessee Titans were a sucker play coming off that physical game against Pittsburgh the week before, playing a 1-5-1 Cincinnati team on the road. And I had the Bengals +7, Brad, and it was one of my pay selections as well, and I gave it out here on the show, and they won the game outright as well. So it goes hand in hand, I guess, to what you guys are saying. Chipper, any thoughts?
Yeah,
Can I jump in real quick, Chip?
Go right ahead.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Chip, but I wanted to just point this out. You guys both nailed this on Thursday as well with that West Virginia-Kansas State game. You guys were talking about the same thing. It was the same thing. It was a sucker bet. So I'll let you expand on both of them, Chip. Sorry about it, but you needed the props.
Well, thank you very much. Saturday was a great day, 5-1. The sucker bet I felt was North Carolina. We had Virginia. They win outright. And yesterday, I think I was the sucker. I posted 4 underdogs. They all won. I had one favorite, was Baltimore, and that went down. But what I actually learned on the weekend is that Tua made an incredible splash in the NFL. He passed for less than 100 yards. They ran for less than 50 yards, and they totaled a 28-14 win. It's just unbelievable. This Tua's got an incredible touch, incredible magic. I mean, this guy passed the ball for, what did he pass the ball for, 50 yards?
90 yards.
This was an incredible,
was,
90 yards. They ran for 55.
Pass,
That's an amazing, it's an amazing feat in the NFL that a team can, garner 8 first downs and win the game by 2 touchdowns. Congratulations, Tua. You did a great job.
Yeah, could I expand upon that a little bit, Brad?
Of course.
Chipper took a little bit of my thunder, but that's okay because it's a great point. I mean, 2 games yesterday that you need not to be misled by. That was one of them. I mean, you're looking at a Rams team that outgained the Miami Dolphins yesterday in total yards, guys, 471 to 145. But yet, because
over
of 4
300.
turnovers, Miami returned a fumble for a touchdown for 78 yards. They returned a punt for 88 yards for a touchdown. So my point is, in the other game, I want to bring to everybody's
that was all
attention.
Tua.
Yeah, well, Tua. Yeah, that was a great move by the coaching staff and the brass to make that quarterback change. Absolutely, right. Chipper. And then
Go ahead,
the Pittsburgh game. I mean, I'm not going to cry over spilled milk. I lost that game. So did Chipper said that was his only loser. But look inside the numbers here again, guys. You're looking at a Baltimore team that outgained them 457 to 221. The problem, Lamar Jackson. Two interceptions and 2 fumbles inside the 10-yard line of Pittsburgh. Once again, I've made this point, Brad, time and time again over the last few weeks. Until this guy shows me that he could bring his team back from a deficit late in the game or at crunch time, I'm not convinced. I think he's the most overrated reigning MVP that I can remember in recent history. Okay, so I'm not aboard with the Lamar Jackson train. He's a great player when he's got the lead, when his team needs to run the ball. I mean, they ran the ball terrific yesterday, over 200 yards. And matter of fact, they ran for something like 260, something sick like that. But here's the thing. If I can make this final point, I remember talking, one of my friends is the president of a harness race track here, great handicapper. And I remember going to the track with him one time, Louis, and I knew how to read the form, but he said, I said, how could this horse be the favorite because it finished 4th the last time out against the similar field? And he said, Ross, that's why sometimes the program doesn't tell it all, okay? If you were at the track, you knew that horse got boxed in and had to expend a lot of energy just to get out of that box situation. He just couldn't recover. Well, it's similar in football. Just don't look at the final scores and be misled. Look inside the numbers sometime. So that's my point, guys. And I'd appreciate any of your feedback if you're willing to do so.
Thank you. Louis, do you have any final words? You want to touch on what Ross just said?
No, I think Ross really just nailed it. It's the nuances of the game. It's understanding kind of, what happened during that game and why it happened during that game on top of the numbers. I mean, the numbers will tell you the story on a long term, but
yes,
you still have to have that short term going the whole time. So handicapping is really long term and short term. And that short term is exactly what he was talking about right there. Critical.
Thank you. Chip, did you want to say something?
I have a question. Yeah, I do. I had a question for you guys. Don't you think that Lamar Jackson quarterbacking the Ravens is sort of like the Yankees? They're just not built for the playoffs. I'm wondering if this guy, under pressure against great defenses, we know he didn't have the greatest accuracy even throwing when he came out of college. His running, his legs were his biggest asset. And once he gets against these good teams in these playoff situations, they just shut him down and let him pass if he wants. And the Ravens just can't get by anybody that's any good. I don't know if you feel the same way I do. I think he's a bit of a hoax as a quarterback. I don't think they're going to make it. I mean, he's a great running back. Cam Newton was a great running back. And now he's being exploited. So
not yesterday.
Yeah, well, he did a great job for me yesterday. I'm telling you, I'm very happy about that fumble. I didn't want an overtime.
No,
I didn't want
I
overtime
agree
in
with
that one.
I agree with you, Chip. I mean, I couldn't have put it any better. I mean, I equate it to up until this year the Clayton Kershaw analogy, where the guy is just outstanding as a regular season pitcher, and he gets into the postseason and he chokes. Again, let's keep in mind, and not to get off on a tangent, but Kershaw was a beneficiary of a 60-game regular season up until that point when he's not real rested and he got to the postseason. You know, your pitcher's like your quarterback. Your starting pitcher's like your quarterback. So, yeah, I agree with you 100%, Chip.
All right, guys, let's take a
Right.
minute to highlight our handicappers. We have a lot of winners here beside the Minnesota game.
Despite all of their early season struggles, they're starting to gel. I see Minnesota coming in and covering the 6 points. Slight outside shot at the playoffs here, but they've got to win today.
I think Dalvin Cook returns today for the Vikings. That could help the running game. Yeah, I'm getting a sneaking suspicion. This almost smells like a spot where the Vikings could win.
I don't want to lay the points with the Packers here at all because it almost looks way too easy, number one, but it's a big divisional game.
I think Minnesota has a shot here. They've been so terrible. If they can't get up and get ready for this game, they might as well pack it in. I think they come to play today.
You guys are awesome, man. Really. Dalvin Cook might help the running game 4 touchdowns later. And the Minnesota Vikings with a great shot, strip
That was
sack,
nice.
fumble, and Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers at Lambeau. Okay, I didn't see it coming. Good job. Great call, guys. Very good. We have a lot to discuss and very little time. There's one game. And I know that Ross Benjamin has a big opinion on this, the New York Football Giants. Taking on the Buccaneers. Giants at home. This opened up -8.5. It is currently at -12.5. So we already saw the number move 4 points over under. It opened up at 47.5. Currently at 45.5. Ross Benjamin, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't know if it's a strong opinion more than it's a fact. I hate laying double-digit favorite number in the NFL. It's not like college football. The parity is way more existent in the NFL than it is in college football for obvious reasons. Having said that, I have it's called 4D handicapping software. If anybody's got $13,000 laying around, call me up and we could talk about it. But having said that, if you don't, let me share this with you. I look inside my database, NFL home underdogs of 10 or greater. And then I see, well, you know what? If it goes beyond 14, which it normally doesn't, it improves more for the favorites, actually, believe it or not. I mean, if you look at Kansas City yesterday, 19.5-point favorite, even though they were home. But let me just run this by you real quick. I don't know if Eugene's got the document that I sent him to put up, but if he doesn't, let me just say this. The Giants are coming off a 22-21 loss at Philadelphia last week, while Tampa Bay is coming off a 45-20 win at Las Vegas. Anytime you have an NFL home underdog of between 10 and 14 points, they're coming off an away loss like the New York Giants are, and they're facing an opponent like Tampa Bay who's coming off a double-digit win. Those teams have gone 39-12-1 against the spread since 1986. That's a league-wide angle, guys. So I know it's a real difficult thing to do, to bet on the Giants, the way Tampa Bay has looked recently and how bad the Giants have been at home in recent years. But it's not so much for a pick, but to keep that idea implanted in your mind going forward. If you don't like this game, maybe you can find a little more value the next time this certain situation comes up. So NFL home underdogs of 10 or more have been historically a great play. As a matter of fact, guys, NFL home underdogs of 10 or more playing on a Monday night, and they're playing a team coming off a win like Tampa Bay. Very rare situations on Monday night, but it's since 2006, those NFL Monday night home underdogs of 10 or more versus foes coming off a straight-up win have gone 6-1 against the spread, and they actually won 2 of those 7 games straight up. So just something, again, not so much for a pick, guys, but something to share with the viewers and listeners.
All right, Ross. Let me ask you a question. Did you get in on this action?
I have not decided on this game because I was just I was curious. Anytime I see an NFL home underdog of 10 or more, I run it through my database, and I just don't keep it as simple as 10 or more. I want to know if they're off a win, if the other or off a loss, and the other team's off a win. Several factors go into it. Now, having said that, I'm just not married to a betting angle. I have to look inside the numbers as well and see other qualifying factors before I'm ready to delve in and take the Giants. I have not made a decision at this time. Quite frankly, if this game was on Sunday, yesterday, with 14 other games or 13 other games on the board, I probably wouldn't even took a second look at it, Brad.
Fair enough. Chip, Ross gave us
Yeah.
the facts. This isn't opinion. These are facts. What are your thoughts?
Right. My thoughts are second looks, third looks. I'm in the same position that Ross is. It's past noon already Eastern, and I haven't posted a side on this game yet. The factors are overwhelming on both sides. Here's the Giants that are 6-20-1 at home in their last 27 games. And if you take it even further, maybe Ross's database has this, they're 3-13 in the last 16 games at home as underdogs.
Yeah.
I'm having difficulty taking this team. I'm having difficulty putting the Giants up, though they've played very, very well against Brady over the years. The Giants always gave New England fits, and I don't know if that's going to be a factor here. I'm afraid of this Giant team. This Daniel Jones, I call him Davy Jones's locker, this guy, because he gives up the ball at least once a game. And every career start, he's either fumbled or had an interception at least once in every start. It's kind of tough to try and back the Giants. Their defense is ranked 16th, which isn't all that bad. Their offense is atrocious. I'm still waiting for some later information. If I do post this game, it won't be strong, and I don't even know which side I'm going to go with yet. I may pass on a Monday night for the first time in years.
Thank you, Chip. Louis, I know you're not going to pass on this game. This line is very high. It's hard to pick the Giants because of exactly what Chip just said about the turnovers from Daniel Jones and the lack of running game. Do you go over or under on this game?
That one's kind of a tough call. And usually I'm a totals guy, but I do know one thing. I have a tough time betting on a guy that has a wide open, it's nobody within 20 yards of him, and he's 20 yards from the end zone, and he can't make the damn end zone. So that is just a tough thing to bet on. So back to Ross's trend.
Angle.
If this were Monday night with, I'm sorry, go ahead.
That's a betting angle. It's not a trend.
Betting
So
angle.
Yeah. I'm sorry, as far as Ross's betting angle there, if this were a loaded stadium, I'd have, probably a lot more of a stronger opinion leaning towards that angle. But it does worry me some because, Tampa seems to be the only way to play. All I can say is I set myself up and got myself in position knowing this, and I teased Tampa Bay down early. So on my teasers, and that's what you need to be looking at right now. What are you going to do for next week, especially when you have these certain mismatches on a Monday night that the numbers are going to be big, and that Tampa is the only thing you can do. And if you want to bet the Giants, you have to hold on to this little string of a betting angle that really technically has nothing to do with this team, but has everything to do with the mental capacity of the NFL player. So that being said, I'll probably want to buy a little Giant teaser today just because of that trend and maybe a little bit of a hedge towards all my teasing action on Tampa Bay. If you don't have any teaser action going today, you could probably tease this one both ways, I think, but more so towards Tampa.
Hey, Brad,
Right.
if I could add one more thing, please.
I was just going to ask you. Go ahead.
Yeah, the difference between a betting angle and trend, I know Louis knows the difference. He just misspoke. But for the listener and viewer out there, a betting angle has to do with all teams in all situations league-wide. A trend has to do with a specific team. And trends, to me, after they go beyond 4 or 5 years or recent trends, they're useless to me anyway. Okay, I know other people have different opinions on that, and I'm not saying they're wrong. It's just my personal belief. But a betting angle to me is all teams, all 32 NFL teams in the specific situation that I just alluded to earlier, and how they do in that specific situation. A lot goes into that. You know what I mean? Some of it's public perception from the week before, and the other is the adjustments by the lines makers. So I just wanted to clarify that, Brad, so the listeners and viewers get a clearer picture on the difference between a betting angle and betting trend, because believe it or not, a lot of them can't decipher the difference between the two.
Well, thank you,
I'd like
Ross.
to jump in, Brett.
Yeah, go ahead,
Jump
please.
back in, please. All right, thank you. Excellent points, Ross. Really appreciate that, and actually really appreciate all these trends and angles that you are bringing to the table for us. And I just want to let the viewers know that we're coming with some action-packed information for you in the future, where Ross is going to be delivering some excellent reports for us. I will be bringing back my old reports. If you've known me for 30 years, you know I was one of the first ones to have the reports out there. So it's all coming to a head here at Bettor Center, and this is going to be the place to get the real information. So appreciate that, Ross. Appreciate you too, Chip. So back to you, Brad.
All right, guys, before we go, I have a question for you. We talk about what we learned from the weekend or from the day before, but as sports handicappers here in COVID-19, with no preseason, a lack of preparation, what have you learned from the beginning of the season until right now with your sports betting? And let's start with Ross.
Well, first of all, you don't release a play too early because you don't know who's going to test positive. Okay, there's no guarantee. Look, if you're releasing plays for sale on the internet, you can't wait to an hour before game time or you'll go broke. Okay, but by the same token, the days of handicappers releasing plays on Tuesday and Wednesday with the mindset that the longer the store is open, the better the chance of more sales. When you see a guy do that, he's not looking out for your best interest. Secondly, again, we're starting. I thought we were starting to see more of a trend toward the under, but yesterday, so far this week, 9 overs and 5 unders. Again, we continue to see poor tackling. And Louis, I know you had New England yesterday on the money line. That was a perfect example. The Patriots tackling was horrible. I mean, Buffalo ran for 190 yards. They were having trouble topping the 100-yard barrier. And a lot of it had to do with poor tackling. And I think that goes hand in hand with no preseason games and not a lot of contact leading up to this point, because you went in right into regular season mode. And typically teams in the NFL don't put pads on during the week. Back to you, Brad.
Chip, same question to you.
Well, I think that it's aided the handicapping on Saturdays because I've noticed this week the schedule has just expanded so much. But we've been able to concentrate and put a focus onto particular matchups and games, and I think it's really helped me. 5-1 against Saturday, 33-10 on the last 8 Saturdays. Sunday is, again, it's always a battle, and I think that waiting for late information is probably the way to go there. We've seen a lot of things happen and money move. I mean, yesterday the 49ers went off the favorite in that game. You go figure that one. Seattle at home, they just took care of business. So you're going to have to wait and see what's going on, I think, more in the NFL because of COVID, like Ross had mentioned. And I just think that the concentrated action has really helped.
Louis Bag of Diamonds.
I think that COVID is a direct relation to the overs. I think that home crowd, that when the defense needs to step up, is truly missing. And that is making a big difference. So I think with no stadiums, I think you got to continue to see the overs ride, even though the numbers are high. And so that's my story. I'm going to stick to it for the second half of the season.
All right, guys, thank you. Does anyone else have anything else to say before we wrap this up and get ready for Monday Night Football? The New York Football Giants hosting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah.
I'd like to add one thing.
Okay.
If I may. Thank you. Okay, so yesterday, I put $50 in this phone account because they had a free $50. And so I'm going to tell you who the book is maybe a little bit later, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to show you how to get cut off by a bookie. Okay, because I'm going to start rolling into this, and I got to think a little bit more about it. But anyways, I turned the $50. It gave me a free $50. So now I have that, and I have a couple $100 riding on Tampa Bay tonight on the teaser. But I also have turned that into $600 because I played the money line parlays that I've been talking about a little bit on the shows. I had the Broncos on the money line. I had the Saints over. I'm looking at the wrong ticket. I'm looking at the wrong ticket right now. But I had Pittsburgh on the money line. The only thing that I lost on the money line yesterday, they were all underdogs, was the damn Patriots. So Cam Newton really screwed me hard because I would have had a 6-team underdog money line parlay, round robin, the 2s all the way up to the 6. And guys, that cash is big time. So I'm going to try to follow this over the next few weeks with this specific account. We'll see where it goes. But I just want to drop that in there right now. See if we can get cut off by this sports book.
All right. Thank you. Chip, did you want to say something else?
No, I'm fine. I'm ready to go. I'm just looking for a winner tonight.
All right. Well, it's certainly not the New York Football Giants.
Can I add something?
You have the Giants, Brad?
No, I'm a Giants fan. I said it's certainly not the Giants as a winner.
Oh, okay. Okay. I was hoping you had bet them.
No,
Well,
I
then
would
I
bet
could've
against
laid it.
them. Yeah. Yeah. What were you going to say, Ross?
Yeah, Louis, I thought of you the other day. I ran and I'm not saying people shouldn't play teasers, but here's a point to think about. NFL home favorites of 6.5 or less. When they win straight up, and of course, if you take an NFL home favorite of 6.5 or less, if you win straight up, you're going to 81% of the time they cover anyway. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention. Let me rephrase it. Any NFL home favorite of 6.5 or less, when they win straight up, if you're thinking about putting them in a teaser, they would have covered. If they win straight up, they would have covered 81% of the time anyway. So again, just food for thought. Nothing against Louis because he does well with teasers, but because I'm always curious with teasers what kind of edge you get. So just again, sharing something with the viewer and listener. That's nothing more, nothing less.
All right, guys. I guess it's that part of the day. My wife teased me with getting me the king outfit and the crown and not treating me like one. 2 days and that's it. It's over. And so is Bettor Center Live, but we'll catch you Wednesday, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Don't forget 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on the weekends. BettorCenter.com on YouTube at Louis Diamond and also Facebook. Chip Chirimbes, Ross Benjamin, Louis Diamond, and a very special thanks to Mr. Eugene Stewart from Spotlight Film Productions. We'll see you later. Hopefully the Giants win. I don't care about covering. Win, baby, for Al Davis. Have a wonderful day.